Thanks to EA for the free game code. Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Akron Zips Dynasty mode here in CFB 26. So in last episode, if you did not catch it, we started up the year 2 season, and as you can see so far, we are 1-4. We've also been doing a pretty good job, I would say, in terms of recruiting this year. We haven't recruited anybody yet, but we are in the lead for a potential 4-star, which is awesome. Also some 3-stars as well, so I'm really hoping we could land a decent chunk of good players this season and obviously make it better for our team next season, because last year in the first year, we were kind of just figuring out still stuff with recruiting. We didn't bring in necessarily the best of players in the world, so I'm hoping that this year obviously we could knock off guys like Robert Thomas, who's a 4-star recruit. I think he would be fantastic for this organization, but obviously we have some teams that we're competing with, so hopefully we can land him, because that would be a great fit for our team. If we can't land him, there's also JoJo Carter as well as a wide receiver, so at least we're starting to target a lot more 3- and 4-star recruits. I'm hoping that we could at least get a chunk of them. If we don't get them all, it's not the end of the world, but it would be nice to start making this team better rather than kind of dropping off a bit like what happened between season 1 and 2. So yeah, hoping that we could get some good confirmations of players that will be joining our team next season. And yeah, hopefully we continue to build up this team where they're actually getting better, because if obviously it takes multiple years for me to start getting this team better, it's just going to take a long ass time before we actually get this team to being like one of the best teams in college football. So anyways, with that said, let's get in your guys' comments, see what you guys have to say about last episode, and then we'll get into the rest of year number 2. We won't do any of the off season in this episode, but I'd like to get the rest of year 2 season done and finally recruiting some players for this team. So the first and only comment is from Nick Bucker Barons OC, who says, look, after setting up the recruiting board for players with 0 offers, also got to invest the full 50 as a school like Akron. If you have a chance at a 4-star, or if they have no offers, you go all in. So he was telling me a little bit more on the Discord. Basically, in week 0, nobody has offers thrown at them. So if we're offering people at the beginning, we need to be putting a lot of points into them right at that week 0, or else we won't get a chance at them. So from here on out, we'll try and remember to do that, because once week 1 hits, then the other teams in the AI are basically trying to go after those guys. He was also mentioning that this pipeline thing, for instance, that we were talking about in the last episode. So let me actually move my face to down here. That would be an easier spot. If we go to somebody like that 4-star recruit we were potentially looking at here, you can see that there is that P tier area. We're currently a bronze, so we're moving relatively slowly, I would say, compared to other teams. Those 2 teams that are below us are obviously in the 5 pipeline tier, which means that they have an easier chance to get this guy, and they will definitely make up a lot of ground. Like, we might have a lead right now, but in a few days or a few weeks, we might not have that big of a lead anymore. So we got to continue to put a lot of points into players like that if we are obviously winning for them. So the good thing for us is I think a lot of these other guys we are looking into, if I'm not mistaken, there is some with other better pipeline tiers, but obviously the 5 ones are the really hard ones. Those are really good pipeline tiers. 3 is not as crazy, I guess. But for instance, with this guy, we're not in as much of a recruiting battle for Hammer, just because obviously the other team that's chasing us is another 1-star pipeline tier. So we got to be very careful about the 4-star guy especially. We don't have any hours left. I want to just double check that we have a lot of hours going into Thomas at the moment, which at the moment looks like we only have 25 hours at the moment going into him. We need to find a way to get 50 hours into him, so I am going to remove this on Thomas. And I am going to have to take off some hours on other people, because I know that there's going to be other teams chasing on Robert Thomas, so I kind of need to put as much hours as possible into him before we advance a week, or else there's a chance that other teams might get into him. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody that I could take hours off of. I guess technically that guy we were just looking at, that 1-star recruit, or 1 pipeline tier dude, we have a pretty big lead on Hammer right now. We could probably take some hours off of him. Like, we could probably take DM player and social media off, keep friends and family on, and then we need still 10 more hours, and we'll probably send the house on the 4-star recruit, just to kind of keep us in the lead for him. We could definitely take some off chart, because there's nobody really there. So we'll take 10 hours off of him. And then we will go back up to our wide receiver here and try and get Thomas on Send the Host. That way we are spending a ton of hours on him, and hopefully that keeps us in the lead for him because we have some other teams from better pipeline tiers that are chasing us. And obviously I know that they could catch us relatively quickly. So that's all the hours we're going to spend in this week. And I think we're ready to continue to advance and simulate some more and see if we could get some of these guys to start going to our team. Obviously, I think nobody's very close to committing at this point, but if we could get into their top 3 schools and then obviously commit, that would be great. So let's advance to next week. We have a game against Miami coming up, who is apparently, I think it's at a conference matchup. Yeah, conference clash because it's both Ohio-based teams. Let's see if we could win, considering they're 1-4 as well, just like us. They're both not very good teams. So let's see what happens in this week. See if we get maybe a win or if we get any information on reaching top 3 schools, that type of thing. So it looks like we are going to get some information. We'll come back to that in a little bit just because it'll advance a little bit. Hey, we leveled up, which is good. We're up to a level 13 now. We got 10 more coins that we could spend if we want to. Hey, and a couple new changes. I guess our championship contender is going up to D-, which is good. Everything else is pretty low still, but the championship contender's gone up a bit. We actually did win that game because now you could see that we are 2-4. So our team did get its 2nd win of the season, which is good. But in terms of the recruiting updates, Talbot, who's a 2-star recruit, has reached his top 3 schools. We are in a pretty tight race with that other Ohio team, so that's not the biggest issue in the world. But since he's a 2-star recruit, we don't really need to put a crazy amount of hours into him, but definitely it's going to be a tight race to the finish if he will actually commit here. Jennings, who's the 3-star quarterback we were looking in, we still have a pretty big lead on him, which is good. Then there's Hammer. We still have a pretty big lead on him, which is also good. He's reached his top 5 schools. And then finally, another 2-star recruit in Leverone has reached his top 5 schools. We're still quite far off that JMU team, so I don't even know if I'll be able to get Leverone, but obviously the other guys I'm kind of hoping I do get, so there we go. No real big adjustment. Let's go to we didn't get a recruit, but we did get an offensive player of the week, and I think we got this guy last year was an offensive player of the week as well at one point. So that is Taven Curry. I'm pretty sure he was the player of the week last year at one point as well. Week 7 versus Miami, he had 17 carries, 63 yards, and 3 yards per carry. Damn, that's a lot of not a lot of yards per carry, but to get 17 carries, I guess that's a lot. I don't really know stats and stuff like that when it comes to football, but there you go. Shout out to Taven Curry. 63 yards, 63 is my favorite number, so that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Let's go down here to Players of the Week so we could see it again. So I guess that was technically not in the national, because where are we even technically considered in which league? Because the national is like the best of the best. Right, and then there's also like ACC, American. I don't remember which one of these we're in. Oh, it would be, I guess, the MAC. Yeah, that's right. That makes sense. I don't even know what MAC stands for, but I'll just pretend I know, even though I don't. So anyways, there is a little update on those players of the week. Let's go back to recruiting. I guess we've spent technically all our hours, but we need to double check that we're still doing good in most of these guys' areas. So Jennings, yeah, we're still got a good lead. Obviously, he hasn't reached his top 3 schools yet, but we're getting there. Halfbacks, Casey, we still have quite a big lead. He's not reached even his top 5 yet at this point. Wide receivers, we're still on a good lead with Thomas, but obviously that second place team is definitely close on us, so we'll keep Send the House on him because I know that he's probably the most important one that I want to get if possible. We're still number 1 on Carter's list as well. We head to Winston. We're still in a good lead with Winston, but there is a Pipeline 3 team that's catching up to us, which isn't ideal. Talbot, we're in a pretty big race here to see if he'll commit. It's going to come down to probably the last week with that other Ohio-based team. I could maybe put a little bit more hours into him if I had 5 more hours, or not 5 more hours. I guess I'd have to have at least 10 hours. But I don't think I could remove 10 hours from other people, really. How's the update on Hammer? Hammer's relatively kind of tight, so I could probably keep it like that for Hammer. Clark, I don't really need to add more hours to, so... Or Chark, why do I keep on calling him Clark? Let's remove 5 hours on him, because we have a big lead on him. And then we need to find a way to get 5 more hours, and I could spend at least some time on that other dude that we're in a little bit of a tight race for. Heath, we got a pretty big lead. Leverone, we're losing on. Kaiser, we're losing on. I don't know if I should remove on Heath. I mean, I could probably remove just 5 hours. It's not going to be a huge issue, so let's just do that. We're going to go all the way down to the... Who was it? Was it Talbot that was the tight race? No, I don't think so, right? No, it was Talbot. Talbot's only a 2-star recruit. We will get those hours back once he commits here. But let's add an additional 10 hours to him just to try and help that we get some commitments. Aside from that, though, I think we're probably good on the other areas. How's Hooks looking? Hooks is still good. Yeah, I think we're still doing pretty decent. JMU is in a pretty tight race with us for a Guide. We are actually winning on a Guide. I should probably spend some more hours on him, but I don't know where I could take some hours off of. Anthony Davis has 15 hours on him. I mean, I could probably take some hours off of him. How many hours can I put on Hooks in a Guide? I need like 25 hours. That's not going to be easy to get. The only way I get 25 hours is if I take everything off of Davis, which, I mean, I have a substantial lead on Davis. So I could probably remove it all for 1 week. So let's just do that for 1 week. That'll get up to 15. We need to still 10 more hours, though. Which I don't know where I'm going to get that. Kaiser I wasn't winning on by a good margin. Leverone I'm kind of closer on. So let's go with Kaiser and let's just remove all the hours on Kaiser. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Perfect. So we'll take those 30 hours. We'll go back to the strong safeties and go to Guide. Because just in case, I want to make sure we have at least a strong safety. So let's go add action here. Add 25 on that. And then we'll go back to... Who was it? Wasn't Shark. There's too many damn prospects, man. I can't remember which guy I was just literally on. Oh, it was Kaiser. I guess I could add still the 5 hours to him. So that way we still have some hours going towards him at least. So there is a little update on that. And we will continue to advance. We have a game against the 3-4 Buffalo. What were they called again? Oh, the Buffalo Bulls, it says right there. Yeah, that's going to be a tough game. I do expect us to lose this game, but hopefully our team could at least get some good upgrade points and stuff during it. So let's advance to next week again. See if our team could somehow pull a win out of their ass, and also see some updates on prospects. Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. I don't think we're going to win, but might as well see if we could find a way to win. So we are getting some updates on top 5 schools. We'll come back to that in a little second, just because that doesn't last that long, that screen. Only a little bit of XP, and our championship contender dropped down to an F after that game. So, yeah, that's not great, but oh well. Brand exposure is an F, D plus on that. Everything's pretty much the same. We go back to the recruiting update, though. Heath has reached his top 5 schools. We're still in the lead. Same goes with Anthony Davis, and same goes with Aguide. Okay, nice. All right, let's go back to recruiting. I don't think we have any hours to spend still, too. Yeah, man, we have like all our hours locked up. I don't know how to kind of give some people more hours that deserve it. Jennings, let's see the update on his other dudes. Casey, we're in a big lead for, so we could probably take some hours off of him, but tough to say. Is anybody really close to actually committing here? We're still in the lead for Thomas. It's coming down to the wire, though, to get to the top 3. And then after the top 3, that second place team is getting pretty close, I feel like. I'm very scared of that team. The good thing is for us, at least we have another option as well in JoJo Carter. But Thomas is... I just don't want Thomas to end up going to another school, but there's a good chance that he could end up going to another school if we don't give enough hours to him. Aside from that, Winston we're still in the lead for, which is good. We could start scheduling some visits with these people too, but I don't have the hours. I'd like, oh my goodness, this is a really tight race. I feel like we might be barely ahead, or we are the exact same as that second place school on Talbot. Talbot's the most closest to committing, but he's only a 2-star recruit, but this is definitely a neck-and-neck race. I don't know if we're going to win him. I don't know if we're going to lose him, but we'll keep it for now like this. And if he does commit to us or the other school, we'll get our hours back and we could spend them on some other people. But damn, I mean, he's only a 2-star recruit, so it's not a huge player to win. But it's definitely one of the tightest races we have out of this roster at the moment. Still probably not going to win on Leverone or Kaiser, I don't think, at this rate. But we are still in their top 5, so never say never. We could definitely catch up if we spend a lot more hours into them, which we probably will do that at some point in time. Davis we're still waiting on, as we mentioned. Strong safeties. Hooks is very close to reaching his top 5, and we have a pretty big lead. Aguide, we're just barely beating out JMU. And that's it. Okay, we don't have any hours to spend, so I might as well continue advancing. I know I could technically move around the hours on these people, but I don't really know who I should be prioritizing the most. Like, I know I have 50 hours spent on our main 4-star recruit guy, but I don't know if he'll accept soon or not. He's very close to reaching his top 3s, so it should be only like a couple weeks, I would assume. But now we have another game against another Ohio-based school, Toledo Rockets, apparently. All right, so another Battle of Ohio, so to speak. Let's advance and see if we get any people committing yet or not. We might get one commitment if it's that 2-star recruit, which we have not yet, but we're in a recruiting battle, as I was kind of expecting. We'll come back to that in a second. We knew we were going to get into a recruiting battle for Talbot, kind of, but is it going to be enough for us to win? It's going to be interesting. Our championship contender went up to D now, because we did just win again, so we're 3-5 on the season now, so kind of winning a little bit more games in this episode than the first episode of the season. All right. And yeah, we're in a pretty tight recruiting battle right now. We're actually dropped down to 2nd, as that other Ohio team has more hours spent into Talbot. And then Hooks is still reached his top 5 schools, which is good. All right. All right, I'm surprised that we actually won that game. Nice to see 3-5. Let's go to recruiting here. I guess we don't have any hours, but that one 2-star recruit, I kind of still want him. I know he's only a 2-star recruit, but we're in a very neck-and-neck race right now. And now that we fell down to 2nd, we need to spend more hours into him. But there's not much more I could do in terms of hours. The only way I could put more hours into him is if I got rid of all these and then basically got 10 more hours freed up so I could send the house on him. I might just have to hope that I somehow win too. Damn, man. Wasn't expecting this 2-star recruit to be the hardest one so far. Do I have 10 hours I could spare to get into him? Probably not, just because these other dudes are probably more important, but I feel like we should definitely still try and get this guy. So, is there a way I could free up 10 hours? Maybe on this 3-star quarterback. Casey's very close to reaching his top 5. We still have a pretty substantial lead. There is a 4-star pipeline tier coming up behind us, though, so we got to be careful on that. Wide receiver, we're still number 1 on Robert Thomas, which is good, but obviously it's still a pretty close race on paper. Same goes with Carter. Anybody else I could free up hours from? This is a tight race for Wesley Winston, and he's also close to reaching his top 3. We need to keep Wesley Winston having that many hours. Talbot, like I said, is close. I don't think I could really take away hours from any of these dudes, because there's just tight races all over the place, which is kind of scary, because obviously if we lose a bunch of these dudes, it'll look like a colossal failure of a year. But we want some commitments. There's still any. Leverone, we fall down to 3rd. I don't even know if we were winning for him before or not, but JMU looks like the favorite for him. And then Kaiser, we're down at 4th, but almost in 3rd. Aside from that, full safety, or whatever you want to say, we're still leaning on Davis, but he has no hours spent on him. Strong safety, we're still number 1 on Hooks and Aguide. I don't think there's really any way I could get rid of hours on some of these dudes. I don't even feel like I'm spending that much hours, but I guess we got to keep it like this. Even though we're in a really tight race for that one guy, he's only a 2-star recruit, so it's not like the craziest player to battle for. But I just don't think I could really justify taking hours off of somebody like Winston or something like that. I'd prefer to have Winston on his team over Talbot. So, yeah, I think unfortunately we're just going to have to see if we end up winning against that other Ohio team. I don't know if we are going to, but it's still a neck-and-neck race. There's still some time, a couple weeks probably at least, before he makes his decision. So we'll wait on that, and we'll advance another week and see if anybody starts to make up their mind. I don't know what that top 25 thing is. Top 25 polls. What is this? Is this just the top 25 teams in the league right now? I don't even really know what this thing is, but there was like a notification for this area, so. Alright. Let's advance another week. We're going through this quite quickly now, which is good, but I'm kind of nervous that we're going to end up losing out on some recruits. But anyways, we have a game against Bowling Green, as in the Falcons. Apparently, they are 4-4 on the season, so another tougher team. But let's see if our team could have a decent outcome. I doubt it, but we might as well see. So, will our team find a way to win another game? We've won 2 games recently. I don't see any notification on that, but we will come back to this stuff in a second or two. We have leveled up again, which is good to see. More coins to spend on upgrading our coach and ourselves. Nothing has really gone up. Actually, championship contender has gone up to C-. We actually did win that game. I didn't even really improve this team at all, but we're 4-5 on the season now. And I think that's already better than year number 1, if I'm not mistaken. But this team's won 3 games in this episode, so I don't know what's making us better. But damn, shout out to this team for winning some games, especially against teams that are better than us too. So I'll definitely take that. But in terms of recruiting updates, JoJo Carter has reached his top 3 schools. We're very close to getting him to commit here, which is good, just in case we don't end up getting Thomas. Leverone has reached his top 3 schools. I don't think we're going to have much of a chance to come back as JMU has a huge lead on us. Casey, we have still a big lead on, which is good. And Kaiser, we're kind of in a battle for second, but we're still a little bit off of first. So, not really any huge updates other than Carter reaching his top 3 schools and probably getting close to committing here. I think he was listed as a bust, or maybe that was Anthony Davis, but still. Hey, look, we got another offensive player of the week, which is good. This is a different player this time around, that being Cameron Monteiro. Or Monteiro? Yeah, Monteiro probably, because there's an I in there. But player of the week, week 10 versus Bowling Green. Wait, what did I say? Wait, no, this is a different, or a receiving? 8 receiving yards? What does that mean? No, it doesn't mean 8 receiving yards. 8 receives? I don't know. 134 yards and then 2 touchdowns. So shout to Cameron Monteiro, who is our wide receiver at the moment. So there you go. Another player of the week for your Akron Zips. That's interesting. Let's go back to the recruiting update, see if there's anything new to take a look at here in terms of races. So Jennings, yeah, we're still number 1 on Jennings, which is good, still by a good chunk. He hasn't reached his top 3 yet. We're still up there on Casey, which is good. Wide receivers still up there on Thomas, which is good, but it's still that second place team is scaring me a lot. And I know Nick was mentioning about it in the Discord to me about how that team definitely will start to close in on you. And I definitely feel like they've closed in on us. Obviously, still a lot of time left to go. But you could see that, I guess, that darker red technically on their bar. I'm guessing that's how much they gained in that last week. We only gained like half as much. So they are relatively speeding up to us. As for that third place team, I'm not too worried on them. But this is going to be coming down to the wire probably on Robert Thomas, my guess. And if we get into a recruiting battle, we need to put in as much into him as possible. So there's that. Then JoJo Carter is very close to committing to us, which is good. He is listed as a bust, but at least it's still an option for wide receiver if Thomas we end up losing out on. Aside from that, Winston, we are very close to having him reach his top 3 schools. We're still in a pretty much almost a recruiting battle with that second place team. So there's a couple guys we definitely need to be putting a lot of hours into. And we're still in a recruiting battle for Talbot. We are falling off a little bit. Looks like they're getting a little bit more points put into him. Like maybe they're putting 50 points a week into him, which we don't really want to put 50 points, I don't think, into him. But it's okay. I think if we end up losing him, because I would put the rest of those points, or a good chunk of points at least, into Winston that way. And we could win Winston instead. But it would be still nice to win somebody, but Talbot might not be one of these guys. I'm not too sure. Aside from that, Hammer, we're in a tight race with Hammer. We should be putting some more hours into Hammer, probably, just because this race is starting to get tighter than I was expecting. That second place team is putting a lot more into him. So we need to free up some hours again somehow. I just don't know how. Shark, we're in a huge lead for, so I don't really care about that. Heath, we're good. Holy crap, man. This is really tough to make up the decision with hours. I think I'm going to remove more hours from these 2-star recruits, even though they are technically kind of tight races. Just got to free up some hours and go back to Hammer here. And I could spend some more hours into him, at least like 10 hours. Because Hammer is, yeah, getting kind of close to being one of these guys that we might fall to second place to. So aside from that, is that all we need to do? I think so. Wow, man, these races are all very tight. Like, there's a chance that we might lose out on a lot of the players that we've been looking into, but there's also a chance we might barely win some of them too. So, man, these tight-ass races. Let me just get rid of this notification about the player of the week, and I think we are good to advance. We are 4-5. We're taking on Central Michigan, I'm guessing that's what still the C stands for, the Chippewas. Well, we're going up against them. Both of us are 4-5 on the season. Let's advance a week and see if our team could win another game. This is a pretty big matchup, and it would be nice if our team could win again. I don't think we have any visits this week, correct? Because I know there was one player that was supposed to be visiting eventually, and that was JoJo Carter. He's supposed to come in week 10, which I think we've already passed, right? Yeah, I don't remember when week 10 is even. So he might have already visited recently. If he did visit, at least our team won one of those games, so... Let's advance another week and see if we get any updates with those battles that we're in and close to being battles as well. And let's see if our team can find a way to be 500. Definitely our team's doing a lot better than last year for some weird reason. All right, so Wesley Winston has reached his top 3 schools, and we are in a very neck-and-neck race on that one. We're going to come back to that in a second here. We're close to level 15 already. Looks like our defensive rating might be getting better, unless our defensive rating was already that good. I don't remember. But, yeah, we've reached the top 3 schools on Wesley Winston, and it's a very tight race. I'm kind of hoping that other guy commits to that other school soon, because I do need to spend more hours on Winston, because or else we might end up losing him just barely near the end. But aside from that, though, championship contenders jumped up to C. Wow. All right, so this team is actually doing pretty good this season. I know we're only a half-a-star team, but we're now 5-5, so we actually did just win that game too. So this team is all of a sudden cooking in this episode. I'm not too sure exactly why, because we still are not that great of a school. Like, I think we're still near the bottom in terms of all the schools, but we're 5-5 on the year, so there must be some good stats to upgrade some players with, which is nice. All right, so 48 coins. We could spend more coins if we want to, but it doesn't matter. Oh, man, we're going to get slapped here. Well, we're not going to finish around 500 at this point. We're probably going to get destroyed. We're playing UMass, and they're 10-0 on the season. They have it on easy street, so to speak. The UMass Minutemen. Jesus. That's crazy, though. 10-0. I don't think I've seen a team perfect so far, so we're probably going to get slapped across the United States, but... Anyways, quarterbacks right now so far, we're leading still on Jennings, which is good. Still hasn't reached his top 3. Same goes with Casey. Wide receivers, we're still winning on Thomas, but it's still very scary. We're getting close to having him reach his top 3 schools, and the other 2 are both 5 pipeline tiers teams. The one that's in 3rd is starting to get some traction a bit, but man, I'm scared on that one. And we are still very close to getting JoJo to commit here, which is good at least. Aside from that, Winston, we are probably going to get into a recruiting battle for Winston, which means we need to find a way to get 10 more hours onto him, I think. Talbot, we are losing on a little bit. I could start to withdraw some hours on him, but he's also something we need still if we don't get Winston. Hammer, we dropped down to 2nd. See, that's why I was saying we need to put more hours into some specific people. We're barely in 2nd. I need to get back into Hammer. So, oh my goodness. How am I going to save up hours? I feel like I lose all these hours every single week. We need to take some hours off of some people here. I feel like we've already taken them off of a lot of dudes, though. Who needs hours off? Maybe I could take some off of Hooks. In Aguide, we have a pretty decent chunk of lead on here. So let's take a couple hours off of Aguide. We'll take 10 hours off you. And we'll take 5 off of Hooks. Gives us 15. Who was that guy that I was all of a sudden dropped down to 2nd in again? There's all these friggin' names that I'm trying to remember here. Was it Heath? No, it wasn't Heath. I think it was the red or the edge, right? Yeah, it was Hammer. Okay, so let's get 10 hours more spent on Hammer. Oh, actually, it's already on there. I forgot about that. Let's get 5 more hours spent into Hammer. Oh, man, I kind of feel... Actually, wait a second. I got an idea. If I remove this, that'd be 40. Yeah, we'll be able to send the house on Hammer. So we'll do that and send the house on Hammer just because that recruiting battle is going to get really tight. And I kind of want him being a 3-star recruit. So we will try and win him that way. But Yeah, I am really scared with some of these races that we're in right now. Like, this is definitely getting a little bit more nerve-wracking just because we're going after higher-end recruits than last year. Last year, we had an easy time knocking out some 2-stars, but when you battle for 3 and 4 stars, it's definitely something that you could either get those guys or you could end up just barely losing them. So let's hope that we end up winning a good chunk of them and hopefully not having to go to 2-star recruits for a lot of the other players. So let's advance next week. We do have a game against that 10-0 UMass team. I don't think we're going to win, but if we somehow win, that would be surprising. But at least this team is doing better than last year. So even though I don't think I've made really that much of improvements, but let's see what ends up happening this week. We won't find out yet. Oh, a couple of people have already locked us out, which is not great. We'll come back to that in a second. But looks like our championship contender dropped because, yeah, we did lose, of course. So now we're 5 and 6, so that's D now. Everything else is pretty much the same. But what I did see here, Robert Thomas has reached his top 3 schools, so we're good still on Thomas in terms of leading. We're very close to hopefully getting him to commit here. Cameron Leverone, who was under the 2-star guys, unfortunately we fell off a bit. JMU ends up winning him, so we're not going to be able to get Leverone, which will give us some more hours. He goes to James Madison, that's what JMU stands for. And then Talbot unfortunately has already committed to Ohio, but that will give us more hours to spend around on other people too. So we were in quite a recruiting battle for Talbot. The other team ended up coming out on top. Is it a huge loss? No, because he's only a 2-star recruit. So I'm not going to worry too much about losing out on those guys. We did get another offensive player of the week despite the loss. Damn, okay. Alex Adams, who's another wide receiver. 7, I think that means receives, but I'm not too sure. Anyways, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. So it looks like we actually put up maybe a decent fight in that game despite losing to a very good team. We could probably take a look at the score of that game. If we go get rid of that notification here, let's go scores and schedules and see if we could find out how that game went. We are in the MAC, so let's go down to the MAC and let's go to week 12. So that game ended up 42-28. So we at least put up 28 points against a team that's won every game. So I don't think that's a hugely bad game. But our other games, like we won 24-6 over CMU, which was good in that week before. Week before that, we ended up winning 29-24 against Bowling Green. All right. And then Toledo, we won 28-17. So yeah, we won like 3 games almost in a row, so to speak. So our team was actually playing quite good in a stretch, which is nice. All right, let's go back to recruiting. We do have more hours to spend now because of those guys committing to other teams. So let's make sure we're putting them into the right people the rest of the hours. But there is also more prospects we're going to have to still look at targeting. We need still to target an edge and an outside linebacker. But first and foremost, let me see who we're winning on. So yeah, we're still in a lead for Thomas, but it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to the absolute wire on him. I don't think there's any way I could add more hours to him too, because I think 50 is the max, unfortunately. So, man, I am scared. That second place team is very close to us now. And they might pass us. They might pass us. I know they're probably putting a lot of time into them as well, which is scary. That third place team is also starting to make a huge jump too, which is scary. JoJo Carter at least is close to committing, so at least we have a wide receiver likely coming here. But still, I want the 4-star. Oh my goodness, this is a tight-ass race, and that's why I'm glad that Talbot just committed to another team, because now we will have more hours to spend on people like Winston, who we are currently in a battle for to commit here. So we are going to send the house on Winston, because I need him to commit here. I need him to commit here. So we'll add 50 to him, which gives us 30 more hours. Hopefully that will help us get Winston to commit. Aside from that, who else do we need to work on? Oh my goodness. Well, it's only for the top 3 schools, but we do need to hopefully get Hammer to commit here. We have already 50 hours spent into him, so that top place team is definitely still doing a lot of work on him. He actually has a visit scheduled already, so that's not great. Maybe that's what helped him get a lot more interest there. Shark we're still winning on. I don't need to really put hours into him. We're still winning on Heath, which is good. We could probably spend a little bit more hours into him as well. So let's add an extra 5 hours into him. We'll remove Leverone since we lost out on him. Kaiser, I'm not going to probably win Kaiser at this point. He's very close to reaching his top 3. But we are going to need some more backs, it looks like. Anthony Davis, we're still winning on by quite a bit. I don't really need to spend more hours into him. Strong safety hooks, we're still winning on. And then Aguide, still winning on him, but not by much. Let's add an additional 10 hours to Aguide. And in hooks, I'm going to spend... I guess I could remove the DM player one. And then we will contact friends and family on him. I guess those are the ones. Yeah, that makes sense. I could look into some more prospects. Oh, I technically should probably. Because now we need a guard and stuff like that guaranteed. And more cornerbacks. Oh, boy. I mean, I could still wait a little bit just to make sure I get some commitments. Yeah, let's wait a little bit. I hope we have enough hours still, our days still to scout out more people or recruit more people. But, oh, this should be a team that we should be able to beat. We are playing against North Illinois. The North Illinois, what are they called? Huskies. So, yeah, we should be able to beat them. They're 3-8, so they're definitely way further worse than us. But who knows? Maybe we'll lose to a bad team but beat good teams. But let's advance another week and see if we beat them. And then hopefully we get some info on some of these other dudes. Thomas is the main one I want, but I don't know how close it's going to come down to if we're going to win him or not. Looks like Kaiser just reached his top 3 schools, so that's going to give us some more hours at least, I think. But I don't think I had really any hours spent on him at the end. We did lose that game. Man, we literally just lost to a bad team after we beat some like teams that are right around our stuff, so that's not great. Our championship contender drops to F. Everything else is staying the same, but 5-7 now on the season. Hammer has reached his top 3 schools. We're in second place. We need to spend more hours into him, which I don't know how I'm going to get more hours into him because I already have 50 hours going into him. Kaiser, we unfortunately will not be able to get either. So we are going to have to remove Kaiser, but I don't know how to get more hours on Hammer because I don't think I could spend more than 50 hours if I remember right. But let's get that other guy off our list here that we're... What was he? I don't remember what player type he was. Probably should start looking into some other prospects just to play it safe. But yeah, Kaiser has locked us out. He hasn't actually committed to a school. I know it's because he reached his top 3 schools. He hasn't committed to a school yet, but we're not in his top 3, unfortunately. Let me take an updated look on all these guys we were looking into so far here. Still waiting on Jennings, which is good. Still waiting on Casey, but we need to put more hours into some of these dudes, I feel like. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so close. I see what Nick means, though. It's so friggin' nerve-wracking. It's literally going to come down to probably like these last few weeks. And the way that they're growing, you can see that, like I said, that bar, they've been growing decently. The team that's in third has been putting a lot of hours into Thomas. Like way more than I was expecting. I don't think I could add anything to this, right? Like I can't add more than 50 hours. Yeah, it's 50 hours maximum per player. So sending a house is the most I could do. So we're just going to have to hope that we keep on winning here on Thomas. But going up by a little chunk at a time, we could get him maybe to commit within 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But then the team that's in second literally could catch up to us within a span of a week. So I am quite scared on that. But at least JoJo Carter is close to committing here, so I feel safe about getting at least one wide receiver. But I really want Robert Thomas, and I could definitely see how those pipeline tier teams just catch up to you out of nowhere. It's absolutely insane. So at least I know about how that works now. We are first for Winston now, and he's very close to committing. So I think we might end up winning at least ourselves a 3-star running guard, or whatever the heck RG stands for again, but holy moly. This is scary, man. We're still second on Hammer, which is kind of scary as well, but maybe we could find a way back into this, but it's might come down to the wire as well. But they're spending, I think, maybe more hours into him than us. I don't really know. Shark, we're still waiting on. Like I said, don't need to pump more hours into him, really. Heath, we're still waiting on, which is good. Still waiting on Anthony Davis. Hooks, we're waiting on. Still waiting on Aguide. He's close to reaching his top 3, but James Madison's right behind us. And that's it. I don't think I can really move any hours around still, so let's keep it the same. Let's keep it the same. I'm very nervous on the Robert Thomas stuff. Very nervous. At least we have a bye week this week, so there's no games, but Oh man, these recruiting battles are just getting way too intense, man. I can see what makes this mode really fun though, with those recruiting battles, and nerve-wracking if you're actually going to get people to commit or not. So we have no games, so let's advance to next week and see if we get any update. And hopefully we're still first place on Robert Thomas by the end of the week, or getting him to commit to this team at least or something. Okay, we did get our first commitment. It is our first 3-star recruit of the year. Last year, we only got 2 3-star recruits. It's Wesley Winston. So he is from Harvest, Alabama, but I do like that pickup. Obviously, one of the better players that we've picking up, because last year, like I said, only 2 3-star recruits last year. So that's already a good start. I will definitely take Wesley Winston. So welcome aboard to him. And we'll get some other information here shortly, because it's going to skip ahead here. There we go. Let's go back once it actually loads. Perfect. So aside from Wesley Winston committing here, which he's a JUCO, just in case anybody was wondering, proximity to home too. There is DeAndre Heath, who's reached his top 3 schools. We're still winning, which is good. There is a team that is kind of close to us, though. In Aguide, we are in a very tight battle with James Madison for. James Madison has jumped up a lot. They've knocked us down to second, and then they're in first now. We are going to have to put more hours into Aguide here shortly, I think. So, yeah, man, some of this is very nerve-wracking, but we have to make sure we get some of the hours spent around. We do have more hours because of the commitment of that running guard, but holy friggin' Christ, man. This game, nerve-wracking as hell. Still waiting on Jennings. We don't need to really put that much hours into him at the moment. Same goes with Casey. Wide receiver, oh my goodness. Oh man, okay, looks like the third place team did not put any hours into him. Or they didn't even offer him yet a scholarship, which is surprising, but we're still in first. And it might come down to 2 weeks from now if Robert Thomas will be joining Akron or not. Holy shit. Oh man, that's scary. And JoJo Carter's like probably a week away from committing, so that's nice. We do have 50 hours I could spend on these guys. We got Winston already committed, which is awesome. So shout out to Winston. Hammer, we're probably going to lose out on Hammer unless I spend more hours, which I can't spend more hours because we're at the max of 50 out of 50. I don't think I'm going to win Hammer, unfortunately, at this rate. But we'll keep him there just in case. Don't need to put hours into Shark. Heath, we're in a pretty big battle for, so I could probably add a bit of hours into him. It's not the craziest battle, but it is a Pipeline 2-tier team. And he does have a visit coming up if it's not already the case. I do need some cornerbacks, so yeah, let's remove all these, and we're going to send the house on Heath. So add a couple more hours than what he already had spent on him, just to hopefully lock him in. Davis, we're still waiting for on him, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Same goes with Hooks. Aguide is in a pretty tight battle. We probably need 10 more hours spent on Aguide. So we're going to send the house just because we're in a pretty big battle with James Madison right now. And Aguide is somebody I want. So we'll add some to him. Aside from that, we do still have 30 hours. I could put more into these other guys we already have started scouting out. But I know we need other areas as well. So let's go back to cornerback here and see if there's anybody that has this first place that has no offers, potentially. Dillinger's a 1-star recruit. I don't want a 1-star recruit, really. Heath is already somebody I'm already looking into. Hitchcock actually has us as number 1, despite us never offering him anything. So we could potentially get him. He's looking into his top 8 schools. But we could still throw our name into him, even though he's a 2-star recruit. We're kind of at that stage where we need to start looking for other options, too. He's also a JUCO Hitchcock, which is not the greatest, but let's offer him a scholarship here. And we will also send 25 hours into him for now, too, while we're at it. So there you go. Another week dealt with. Let's advance a week. We're getting to that stage where we're very soon going to find out about Robert Thomas, if he's going to commit to us, or if that other team's going to come up from behind, kind of like the Vulture or something like that in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, if you guys ever watched that, and steal the player from us, kind of like stealing a case. But let's find out. Let's advance a week, see if we get any information on commitments. We should get maybe some people committing soon. So Let's see. No commitments this week. Hammer has unfortunately committed to Liberty, which I knew we were going to eventually lose out on him just based on how close that race was and the fact that they jumped out of nowhere. So unfortunately, George Hammer is not somebody we're going to get, so we're going to still need to find another player at that position, I think. Hitchcock has reached his top 8 schools. We're still in the lead for him. We don't probably need to put too many hours into him, so I could probably remove some. But we are winning for Hitchcock. I almost said Hedgecock for some reason. Okay, let's go back. Actually, we can't even... Are we already at the end of the friggin' season? Oh man, we can't even start recruiting anybody else right now. We will find out probably if people commit here. We can't put any more points in the recruitment. We gotta hope that we get some people here. And I can't even take a look at how close the race is right now still with Thomas. Well, I didn't realize we were in the off-season almost already. But we will find out here if we get any more people committing here. But a lot of people might not commit before this off-season, which is kind of strange. But let's advance. See if we get any update. Please, Robert Thomas. That's all I'm asking for. And we get JoJo Carter committing. So that's good. At least, like I said, I knew Carter was close to committing. He has joined the team as a wide receiver. So we do get ourselves one wide receiver from Denver, Pennsylvania. I didn't even know there was a Denver in Pennsylvania, but shout out to JoJo Carter. Did we get anybody else committing? No, we did not. We will... Oh, no. Oh, no, I see that second notification. You guys, some of you probably saw it, but we'll come back to that in a second here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, I didn't like to see that second thing. We are now in a recruiting battle for Robert Thomas. I don't think we're going to win him now. I don't think so. Because I need to put a shit ton of stuff into him if I want to get him. Holy frig, man. At least we got JoJo, but we're also in a recruiting battle for Aguide, and James Madison is running away with it. Oh my god. This is a really friggin' stressful game, man. Shark we're still in the lead for, but... Oh, why? And apparently the Heisman Trophy winner this year was Marcel Reed of Ohio State. I guess we're in the off-season now, right? Yeah, we're already in the off-season. And we didn't get any commitments and stuff, more commitments. And there's nothing I could do in terms of actually getting those guys to commit till next episode, I guess. But the fact that we're in the recruiting battle really sucks. We only technically had... a couple recruits this year. Actually, I could go back to here. We don't have any hours to spend, but we can now see those upgraded recruiting battles. Oh, no. We're literally like a hair above that second team. Oh, no. I literally offered to send the house on him, and I don't... Like, see, like, it looks like they go up by a little bit chunk more than us. Like, at least they're getting double the points than us per week. Because they have that better pipeline tier. Oh, no. I don't think we're going to win on Robert Thomas. I don't think so. But we got JoJo Carter, so I'm happy at least about that. But holy frig, man. I now understand why we needed to put more hours into Robert Thomas probably earlier. God damn. Alright, aside from that, is there anybody else that's close to actually committing here? Because I feel like we didn't get a lot of guys to commit. Because we lost on Hammer, unfortunately, so we could probably remove him once we get the chance to. Shark, we're still number 1. Cornerbacks. Heath is very close to committing here, so that's somebody we might barely win, which would be very nice. Hitchcock, we're still number 1 on. Davis, we're number 1 on. Hooks, we're very close on. Aguide, we're also in that recruiting battle for, but it looks like James Madison might be putting a little bit more into them. Or he's got a little bit more interest in James Madison. I'm not too sure. But right now we only got, let's see. Yeah, right now we only got a couple people that have transferred. Or wait, what the heck? Transfers? Winston was a transfer from another school or what? I honestly don't even know. But we only got a couple people to actually commit to our team this year so far. And some of them are in a battle for the other people. I don't know if they'll commit before the next season, but we might have way less people joining our team this year than last year, so maybe I need to change things up in terms of how I do that. So there's that. Aside from that, final few things before we wrap up this episode, because next episode will be more off-season related stuff. Man, And there's managed staff, which I don't think we really need to change this. I mean, we could get new coaches, I think, but I don't even know how that works, really. Is there anything else, though? Early national signing days, just those prospects we were just looking at. At least some people are close to committing. But, man, that race for Robert Thomas is going to stress me out, man. Kind of wish I didn't have to wait to find out if he'd commit here. I mean, I could technically maybe simulate one more week. View job offers. Yeah, the rest of this stuff is not super important, I guess. Managed staff. Staff moves. Let me go to this just to see where people went. Somebody went to the NFL, retired, NFL. All right. Yeah, I think I could probably advance at least 1 week and still call this part of the regular season just to see if we get any other commitments before. Because we're in bowl week, so I guess we're technically still during the season. Because the off season would be after bowl week, I think. So let's go through this too, just to kind of see if we get any more people committing. I think we might get more hours next week too, potentially. Maybe not. But obviously all this stuff is going to stay the same. No adjustments in terms of those players, which means I don't think they generate interest during those weeks, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I think we'll probably just go through these bowl weeks as well while we're at it, just because there's not really much to do at this point. So yeah, let's go through these, see if there's any updates on commitments or anything. But man, that Robert Thomas stuff is scary. I've never been that stressed out in this game before. Coach carousel, I'm guessing that's just coaches changing teams and stuff. Yeah, I don't really care about that. We're not getting any new coaches probably this season anyways. Managed staff moves, it's all good. Let's keep it going. Get through bowl week. And then obviously next episode will be the off season, but at least I know how to get through these seasons a little bit quicker than I did before. And we got one more week. This is the national championship game in 2026. Who is playing against each other? Or does it say? Oh yeah, it does here. Where top stories. Let me go down to this. It is the USC Trojans taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. So the 3 versus the 4. Let's see who ends up winning the national championship. And we get some more leveling up, almost to level 15. Don't know if we unlock anything at level 15. So that's interesting. So now that we found that out, CFB history update. What's this? Now we're technically at the end of the season recap. So that last game, basically looks like USC beat Georgia by a score of 28-17. All right. So there is that. Anything else we got to do before we wrap up this season? Top stories, staff moves. I think that's all good. Let's advance to the first week of the offseason. We might find out some updates here soon on those recruits, and then that would be good. But no, it looks like we're going to find out next episode about that. All right, yeah, we'll find out the rest of the stuff in next... Actually, maybe we should take a look at the players leaving and stuff already. Yeah, you know what? Let's look at the players leaving. I don't want to really go through any super crazy offseason stuff, but we might as well throw this into this episode as well. So, actually, yeah, I'll probably end right at this point around. But let's show you guys who is leaving the team this season. So, Tanyan is already transferring due to playing time. I didn't play him at all this season, but I could not get him in to our lineup. I don't know how to get him into my lineup. Nobody's ever told me how to get him into my lineup. So you're saying literally a guy I already recruited is already going to be leaving the team. I wanted him in as a quarterback, and there's no persuasion chance on him. I don't understand, man. I get these guys in the transfers and stuff like that. Like, I was very excited about Tanyan, but if he's already... there's no persuasion chance to actually get him back. Oh, wait a second. There is a chance, I guess. If I didn't persuade the other guy, maybe I could. But it says there's no chance of persuasion on Tanyan. So you're telling me guys I already recruited and all that are leaving the team just because I could not get them into the lineup, which I honestly have no idea how you get them into the lineup. That's fucking dumb. We also did lose Curry, who was our best player. One offensive player of the week for multiple times. He's also leaving due to graduation. Macon's lost due to transfer. Same with Williams. Pope is left due to graduation. Wide receiver, we lost Montiero. for conference prestige, playing style for Hillis. And then Walker and Adams both graduated. Damn, graduation for Adams. That's a tough loss. Rhodes lost due to transfer championship contender. Schott is graduated, or not Schott, Shore. Looked like a T for some reason. Brown DeMary has transferred due to championship contender. There is a low chance we could get him back if we really want to. Whitney is also transferred due to conference prestige. Maine is transferred due to playing style. Masai King is graduated. Damn, man, a lot of graduations. Javon Frazier transferred due to championship contender. Extremely low on bringing him back. Lakusa has graduated. That's the guy we brought in last year. Kewan Murray, transfer championship contender. Yeah, we're losing a lot of people. Some of them we have a chance to maybe bring back, but the fact that we already lost Tanyan actually pisses me off because I had no idea how to get him into the lineup. And he obviously wants playing time. So if we would have played him all last year, then he would have been okay. But I don't know how I'm supposed to get him into the lineup. Like, there's no, like, edit line screen, so to speak. But we're going to lose him before he even makes his debut with this team. Which is good, at least, that we targeted another quarterback, maybe. But we still have to work on him a bit. So that's kind of dumb. That's kind of done, unless he was a transfer here. No, but he was from high school, though, I think. I don't think there's any way I could even get him to come back. Because it says no persuasion chance. But if we look at the persuasion chance on all these guys, there is some people looks like we could potentially get back. Like, there's a low chance that we could get Whitney and Schramm. There's very low on a couple dudes and extremely low on some. Everybody else is, like, none. And also graduated. So, we're losing a lot of people, which kind of sucks. I thought I had a good quarterback coming in Tanya, but to lose him already sucks, especially because I didn't know how to get him into the freaking lineup, man. Oh boy. Well, nothing I can really do on that. So if you guys saw anybody though that I should give a chance to persuade to come back, let me know. I don't think there's any way I could get Tanyan since it says none, but we will probably try on a few players because we have 2 chances in next episode, and then we'll get through the entire offseason as well while we're at it. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Akron Zips Dynasty Mode. So next episode, take it through another offseason, see if we get some commitments. I'm really hoping we win on Robert Thomas, but I feel like we're not. And then also to lose guys like Tanyan already really, really friggin' blows. And I'm kind of frustrated about that because this full episode was exciting. But that last few newses about Tanyan leaving and stuff like that kind of pisses me off because I honestly have no idea how you're supposed to adjust who's starting and who's not. I could have, if I would have redshirted him, would it have given me a chance to play him again next year? I'm not too sure, but I honestly have no idea how all that stuff works. So we're still learning, but definitely a little frustrated with the ending to this episode. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.